Hi, everyone. Welcome into my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome into this financial astrology decode, and I'm excited to go over and decode the very important character known as Chiron. And in this video, my aim is to open up, decode a financial birth chart, and find the financial narratives, find the financial storyline, so that one can step into the character of their soul through the financial birth chart to have good alignment in their life and to free themselves from anything that may be holding them back from standing in their greatest potential, and achieving and aiming for financial success and stability in this life. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over the position of Chiron in the 10th house in Gemini. And so, welcome in, and I hope you guys enjoy. So, this birth chart took me off my normal path. My usual foundation for decoding personal financial astrology starts with the second house, the house of self worth, material possessions, and how you earn and manage resources. From there, I follow the thread of the planetary ruler of the second house to see where the financial currents can best flow. This chart, however, took me outside of that normal framework that I usually use. And instead of unlocking this chart from the second house, I had to look at a different key that revealed itself in the midheaven. The midheaven is the highest point in the sky. This key is sitting in the 10th house, which is a very outward and public placement of how you will be seen by the world and how you will show yourself to the world. This midheaven point took precedent because there is an astrological position that must be unlocked and set free in order to fully transcend any financial narrative, especially because the 10th house is the very peak of professional standing itself. This is something I couldn't ignore as the true key to unlocking potential wealth. What is the key that must be used to unlock true financial greatness and potential in this person's chart? That is Chiron. In traditional astrology and Greek mythology, Chiron is known as the wounded healer. I would reference Chiron today as the master healer and the master teacher. I believe this person has an opportunity to dive deep into personal and transformative healing like Chiron, which will transcend any financial insight I'm here to provide. Not only do they have the chance for profound healing themselves, but they too can become a master healer, a master teacher. A service I think that is so unique and yet universal, it has the potential to unlock wealth and stability in ways most couldn't imagine. Before we discuss the financial potential of this placement of Chiron in Gemini in the 10th house, I want to reveal his origin story. After all, Chiron sits in Gemini in the 10th house, directly related to professional achievement, career, and outward facing leadership. To me, Chiron in the 10th becomes the heart of this chart to unlocking unlimited financial stability. Join me now as we look at the origin story of Chiron, the half man, half horse, immortal being whose conception began in tragedy, who transcended pain, became a master healer, a master teacher to some of the most well-known mythological heroes we know today. As we unfold this story, keep in mind how this healing journey will unlock the potential for great leadership and career standing in today's modern times. If we can understand Chiron's wounds, we can see what he chose, how he lived, and how he overcame unbearable pain to eventually help and aid others. So the great tragedy begins with Chiron's father, Cronus. Known as the Titan who ruled before the Olympian gods, Cronus feared being overthrown by his own children. So he devoured them all. I would say having that as a father alone is pretty unbearable in itself. As the story goes, in a fit of lust, Cronus transformed himself into a stallion to seduce the beautiful Oceanic nymph Philra. Upon seeing her son, Philra was horrified at his half man, half horse nature and essentially abandoned him. Chiron was an orphan from both the heavens, the seas, and earth. He was rejected and outcasted, sent to live alone on Mount Pelion. So when we unpack his origin story, his father was a titan who devoured his own offspring, which adds primal terror to the father relationship, makes the rejection feel like survival against annihilation. His father tricked and seduced the feminine, and therefore was rejected and abandoned by his own mother. Rejection, abandonment, fear of being devoured, orphaned from birth, an outsider. Talk about major wounding to overcome. But that he did. If Chiron survived this and transcended into a healer and teacher, where demigods from the heavens came looking for him for mentorship, training, to overcome unthinkable quests, then what does that say about the person carrying the signature in the 10th house of public standing, public reputation, leadership, and career? Can they too liberate themselves from core wounds to aiding and guiding others from all walks of life? Despite his exile, Chiron did not become a wild beast. As one might suspect, instead he became highly cultivated, learning high levels of wisdom that could be provided to him here on earth. Luckily for Chiron, he was raised by Apollo, god of light, music, prophecy, and the goddess Artemis, the goddess of hunt and nature. Chiron was able to master medicine, healing. He learned the secret cures of nature. He mastered music and poetry. He mastered warfare and strategy, prophecy and divination. He knew the will of the gods. He became the teacher of many. Some of his most famous students included Asclepius, Achilles, Jason, Hercules, Perseus. So let's look at the base elements of Chiron's pain, because they will mirror what this person can carry in the 10th house, Gemini, in the house of public standing. Chiron was abandoned by his mother and rejected by his father. He was cast out before he could even speak. He carried the primal fear. I am not worthy of love if I am seen as I truly am. If I am seen as I truly am. And so, in this astrological position of Chiron being in the 10th house of public standing and career, this person will know these feelings well. It's the fear of rejection, the fear of abandonment, the fear that if they stand there fully authentic, fully true, fully open, that they will face that same rejection. So why must we liberate and unbind these core wounds? This fear builds a wall. It creates a shield around the heart. It creates a barrier into standing in one's true authentic self, which is the gateway to true leadership. If the core wounds are not liberated, this person won't access the medicine needed for their divine nature to come to light. It will impact their standing in the public eye. The 10th house, this manifests as a wall, a barrier, the terror of being truly seen. This must be liberated. Liberating any false belief that if they admit to vulnerability, to maybe not knowing everything, that it will ruin any sense of credibility they have, or maybe carry the false belief that if they are at ease, to be of a humble nature and laugh at their own mistakes, that they won't be seen as serious enough to lead. But here's the key for full alchemization, for total liberation. When this wound is healed, it doesn't just disappear. It transforms into the most rare and precious gift of all, the ability to be fully authentic, one's true self, the ability to hold deep space, the ability to hold deep presence, because they have done that for themselves. This will transcend one's life and transcend finance altogether. Doorways will open, opportunities will come flying in, miraculous things will unfold. Again, transcending any financial narrative. But let's continue on, because no matter how much transcendence there can be, we must decode in a way that can anchor financial streamlines into the material world, into this matrix. So now, imagine a leader who has broken through that fear. They are no longer trying to prove they are worthy. They just know they are. They can finally relax. They have a heart that's radiant and not closed off. They laugh at their own stumbles, knowing it won't destroy them. They can admit, I don't have the answer yet, and others respect and value that honesty. They gain the master ability to know exactly what dose of medicine, of wisdom, is needed at each moment. They walk into each room with lightness, all whilst carrying deep presence. They can read the room to see the walls people are hiding behind and gently put them at ease. Kind of like a superpower. With this, when healed, it becomes someone who can walk into any boardroom, any spiritual circle, any chaotic situation, and say, without even saying a word, you can take off the armor. I know the shadows, and I've walked through them, and I'm still standing, and I can help. I can aid, and I can guide. That is the true gold. That is the true wealth. Not the ability to be perfect, but the ability to be innocent again, to be seen again, to be loved again, exactly as they are, and to offer that to those around them. For Chiron, the formula to becoming a master healer was rooted in one thing: conscious awareness within his original suffering, eventually leading to total liberation. It was about turning the poison into the cure of compassion, if you will. He didn't run, he didn't hide in isolation. Instead, he accepted the love and care and wisdom of the world around him. He brought unconscious pain to light, letting the old die away to confront the possibility of life. He confronted everything that was not going to allow him to live in his full potential, washing away any shame. And now the pain is no longer a crutch. It is a tool to turn the most complex things into a flow of inner knowing and insight. You become the master healer of the complexities of life, of the painfully difficult aspects of existence. You become the beholder of medicine. And like Chiron, many great warriors from the divine dimensional realms came looking for him. They came for his teachings, for his ability to help them overcome the impossible so they could, too, stand in their greatest potential. So this far exceeds any financial insight or narrative I wish to provide. From that perspective, there is unlimited potentiality, because it no longer becomes about career or the public stage. It transcends all into standing in deep presence of every second of every day, which makes each moment transcendental in the most innocent of ways. And all people of all creeds and class will come to you seeking insight, seeking your presence, seeking your wisdom. In the next video, I will follow the planetary ruler of the second house of this chart, and that's the rich and beautiful planet Venus. The planet Venus sits in the 8th house of this person's chart, all about shared finances. Venus offers further transcendence of economic and financial narratives. Like Chiron, Venus embarks on an extraordinary journey into the shadows, into the underworld, to liberate all false identities, to reclaim and stand in her one true identity, and that's her very essence, her one true intrinsic value of self. Both Chiron and Venus help guide us to total liberation of any core wounds and false identities. And in the next video, we will explore how Venus helps us bring in higher octaves of harmony, balance, truth, reciprocity, giving, love, and how it will change all current economic and financial narratives we have been told to believe in today's times. So stay tuned and look out for the next video. I had to break up this decode into part 1, part 2, and part 3 because there's so much transcendence that's we're being invited into. So stay tuned, and until the next time, much love, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.